I don't either.
Yeah, just hit record. It's not like we haven't done this in like a week or so, right?
I mean, like, yeah, it's been like 3 days.
It's been at least a week.
It's been like 3 days.
Welcome back to whatever this week called. Here's the intro. Yay!
Yay! do Nickelodeon. There we go.
That wasn't the intro to Nickelodeon, was it?
Yeah.
Did
Nickelodeon.
I thought it was nah.
Yeah, it's not. I'm thinking of do.
Yeah, you're thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh again.
Yeah, bro. Listen, okay, you started talking about it, and now I'm thinking about it.
Like your brain just went like, no, this is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got that confused with Nickelodeon. But to be fair, both shows. Well, Nickelodeon's a network, and it was goated. Now it's kind of mid. Cause now it's just kind of like.
Nickelodeon's still a thing?
Yeah, it's pretty much just the corpse of SpongeBob that keep kicking.
Okay. Well, they own Avatar still.
Oh, right. Yeah, Avatar, the one that the core ended. Because horribly.
I have to get like approval from like Nickelodeon before anything goes up for Avatar.
Right. I forget that they still own Avatar because like Avatar: The Last Airbender pretty much died when Korra started, and now everyone realizes how bad of an Avatar Korra was because the next Avatar is waking up in Fallout version of Avatar.
Was that like 7 notifications for one fucking game? It's the same notification. What the fuck?
Pokemon Go loves to take your notifications.
No, it wasn't even Pokemon Go. It was solo leveling.
Oh, have you been watching the anime or reading the manhwa?
Watched the anime. I started reading the manhwa, but I like kind of had to move.
Right.
Yeah.
I have been reading the manhwa lately, and I love this. this Jinwoo aura farms harder than Anakin, the Women and Children 2 Skywalker. Do you understand?
I don't even think Jinwoo aura farms. Like, I don't think he's like it's like that. I think it's just
how they have the panels spaced out because it's a manhwa and they have to do that vertical style.
Yeah, because he doesn't any differently than like fucking Goku or Luffy. I
think it's the manhwa style instead of a manga style.
Yeah.
I think it's just like because they have the vertical panels, it just shows up more as aura farming because some of these panels they're like. Because I've noticed when I read a manhwa versus a manga will hold on like one pose for like one panel, and then just have like blurred lines for like 3 panels to show action.
Yeah.
Or a manga was actually more detailed and everything, so you can actually kind of see what's happening. But when you translate that to animation, it looks better for manhwa style because you can just like, oh yeah, we just kind of skip over this. But then you run into that problem with like an anime for a manga, it's like One Piece or like Naruto, or like. In their heads, in the manga, things are happening, but they're talking for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
But that's all in their head in like the span of a second. But,
it also helps that SJW doesn't have to actually fight anybody that he has to talk to, really.
Yeah.
Like for the majority of his fights, a lot of it's just like NPCs.
Yeah, he's fighting like a monster that doesn't really talk back, and so he's like. And then, like, he's talking to, like, the system, like, oh, you've leveled up, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like the one time, like, we actually really see him interacting with somebody as Carrigan, and nobody fucking remembers who Carrigan is, and it's like, yeah, I only remember, not Carrigan. Oh, my God. Callaghan? No. I think it's Carrigan. I want to say it's Carrigan.
Who's it?
He's the wizard that, with, like, the bodyguards where they get trapped inside the Red Gate.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not the Red Gate.
It's the Purple Gate. It's the Purple Gate.
Yeah, it's the one right before the Red Gate. It's when he meets his little sidekick dude.
Yeah. No, before that. It's after that. It's the one where it's the one in season 2 where Fine Chick has a pickaxe.
Oh! Yeah. We're like future baby mama probably more than likely because she's probably the only character who actually has been recurring in his quote unquote love life.
Where she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think his name is Carrigan. If I recall correctly, it's Carrigan.
I remember his face. I don't care his name. The names in this show are in Korean, so it's kind of hard to.
I remember names because I play the game and like. I see all the names so frequently. Mm-hmm. I can tell you like fucking Park, Park Sin Yi,
mm-hmm.
Han Simi?
Han Jin-woo?
No, it's not Han Jin-woo. And then there's Hwang Dong-suk.
It's not the brother of the dude he killed at the very beginning?
Yeah, he's this is the S tier one though.
Yeah. I already got past him in the manhwa.
Yeah, I know what happens. It is spoiled for me.
He fucks up, and it was at that moment he knew he fucks up.
But like in the game, like you're forced to like memorize these names because like people will just assume you know like which character they're talking about, and it's like,
bro, even if it's a manga or a show that I really like, the chances of me knowing every character's name is gonna be very hard.
Yeah, like if you sit me down and you make me name One Piece, like I'm obsessed with One Piece.
Right.
Like literally before we sat down and like
I can give you the name of the crew and then that's about it.
I can give you a lot more than the crew, but like there's over 1,000 characters.
Well, I can give more than the crew, but I mean like I know Carrot, I know Baltimeo, I know fucking
if I tried to go over all the characters I know, we'd
Princess
be sitting
Vivi,
here for...
I know fucking Walpole, because he's ugly and fat, no one likes him. I know Caesar.
It's just more notifications.
Do you have an egg hatching?
What? No, on Discord.
Oh, okay.
That's why I minimized Discord so it wouldn't fuck with me, but then it just keeps flashing.
Keep showing you its notifications.
All the notifications.
Yeah, so like, of course Shanks and Mihawk and Perona and
I know members of like crews that are like members of like Gonko crews that like are only named in SBSs, and it's like I know a lot about One Piece, but like if you sit me down and you're like you name every One Piece character, I'd just be like.
I saw this video where this guy tried to name every single Pokemon ever, and I'm like, unacceptable behavior. Like, first of all, why would you take up the memory space to remember names of characters that both Nintendo and Game Freak do not care about?
Dude, I could probably do it if you give me enough time.
He tried to do it in like an hour.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it in an hour.
Yeah, no.
Like, there's just like random Pokemon you just forget about, like Hakamo and shit.
Yeah, like no one cares. Hell, the people who created the game don't care.
Hell, like, even in fucking Scarlet and Violet, there's 3 of the Pokemon that are essentially the same. It's like Pawmi, Pomo, and Pommet. And it's like, you will always forget one of them.
No one gives a shit what they should be named.
They're literally the same
like,
Pokemon.
Died, like, after, like, Ruby and Sapphire.
I wouldn't say Pokemon died. I think Pokemon
I mean, like,
is
creatively.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I think, like, there's a lot of,
Okay, wait,
designs.
no, because Sword and Shield was actually pretty innovative because it was like open world it was like 3D.
And I mean like design wise, I mean they're still going. Like I mean, have you seen Scovillain?
No,
it's literally a pepper Pokemon. It is like
I could have guessed by the name.
It's a walking pepper Pokemon with 2 heads. One is a red jalapeno and one's a green jalapeno.
That sounds stupid. And here they are.
It's
yelling,
really cool.
And here they are yelling at Power World because they give them guns.
No, they yelled at Power World because they infringed on the trademarks that they filed afterwards.
Yeah, they filed afterwards. Yeah. It's like, hey, instead of Game Freak's like, hey, we have Pokemon, one of the largest growing, one of the largest franchises in the world, period. And this one company took similar creatures and is really popular. Should we make a competitive game that's like really fun and can compete with theirs? No, let's shoot them in the kneecap so they can't stand up against us again. Yay! Because why have, competition and be creative when we can just bulldoze everyone else around us and hold a monopoly on the word Mon or a ball that you catch something in?
No, because it's not even everyone around them. It's like, it's literally...
Only the threats.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, they let Nexus Mon go by. They let fucking Tim go by. Like... I mean, there's a bunch of Pokemon knockoffs that use similar mechanics.
Right.
I mean, like...
And not a single one of them gets so much as looked at sideways. But I guarantee they start being as actual fun and actual playable as Power World is. I can guarantee Papa Nintendo will be breaking down your door and turning off your Nintendo Switch because you technically don't own it, even though you spent $700 on it.
Wait, is this... Wait, are we, like, uploading this part, too?
I don't know.
Because, like, we didn't even introduce ourselves. It's been, like, 4 years. You'd think we need to start with an introduction. Like...
I think the fact that was our cold open and that we haven't introduced ourselves should be part of it.
Fair enough. Well, anyways, I'm JadeJonny.
And I'm Mr. Cola.
And you guys see what this whole entire thing is gonna be, because
we just ramble and get off topic all the time.
Yep. This entire, the entire first episode.
I like how it was almost 10 minutes before you realized we hadn't said our names yet.
Well, I was like, I was like, I'm just gonna cut this out, kind of thing, and then I realized I was like, hold on, this is like right with the shtick of what we wanted the fucking series to be.
Right. This is just us. So we've been gone for a while because some things, life sucks, and it hit us right in the each of us individually and collectively right in the tank box.
Yeah, it really did.
It did us in the no squares.
In the time in which we've uploaded, I have both become a pro TCG player and retired from that TCG. So it's been a while.
And you got in and out of a relationship and got thrown out of your parents' house.
And I had a fiance die.
Was that before we started recording or after? That was before, wasn't it?
It was after the series started. She might have passed away before the series ended. Speaking
of death, my dad died.
Yeah.
and I moved, and then I didn't have internet for a while, which you probably was like, oh, didn't you guys used to stream? Yeah, we used to, because life sucks. Life's hard, and we didn't have a helmet, and it just hit us in the head with sticks. Let's see here. I also now work pretty much 7 days a week, which is lovely.
Yeah, and I've been out of a job for basically a year and a half because I was watching an old lady with dementia.
So yeah, he was dealing with a Skyrim NPC.
Yeah.
Isn't life great?
Yeah.
But hey, now he's crashing on my living room floor, even though I returned the favor of friendship and brotherhood. Because he helped me not to be homeless, and then I was like, he was about to be homeless. I'm like, you freaking thought if I was going to let you just be sleeping on a bus bench, get your Caucasian keister over here.
It's the family, it's the family you find, not the family you're born with.
Right.
But anyways, on to happier.
I can't believe my notification from my phone was that loud. I didn't realize I put it up that loud.
Yeah, that's what reminded me we were here.
It's like, I don't know if y'all heard the lightsaber turn on in the back, but that was my cell phone going off in the other room.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nerd. Speaking of Star Wars, we've missed the entirety of the sequel, quote-unquote, Disney version of Star Wars since we haven't uploaded.
I liked it.
I liked that it's over, and we don't have to deal with it ever again.
I think that the chick who plays Rey is hot.
Yeah, she's attractive, but I mean, she's no hotter than anyone else in Star Wars, really.
I mean, definitely, she's no Natalie Portman,
Oh, well, yeah, when she was young, young Natalie Portman.
I mean, she still looks.
Yeah, any Natalie Portman probably,
Okay, let's not go back to when she was under 18,
Right, obviously. But, when she was under 18, I don't even think either of us were born yet.
Is she that old?
I don't know how old she is. Yeah, you're the one with the cell phone right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, how old is Natalie? Because before she was 18, we were probably children, real children, if we were alive.
She is 44.
So she is.
I was 3.
Yeah, she's over 10 years old.
I was 2 or 3.
Yeah, I was maybe 4 or 5. Yeah, so I was still painting with my feet in kindergarten.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know she was that old.
I mean, people age, brother.
Yeah, I just thought she was I guess it makes sense. I was thinking she was roughly our age, but
No.
I was
It always surprised me how young and / old celebrities are.
I was talking to a friend of mine probably 2 months ago, and I was like, dude, I just found out that the chick from Sweet Life and Zack and Cody, London Tipton.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know she's married to Macaulay Culkin?
Really?
And he was like, the fuck? They're not that old. And so we started
Macaulay
looking.
Culkin is old.
We started looking up ages of Disney stars, and we got to what I would have considered modern era, and like
Zack, Cody, and then
no, like Descendants and stuff like that,
oh,
right?
Right.
And I
Isn't that
found
where the Paul brother got famous?
no, he got famous from like Bazinga or something like that. I don't know.
Bazinga?
I don't think it's not Bazinga, but it's like Aardvark. He got famous from Aardvark.
I was like, Bazinga is what they do in Big Bang Theory.
But it was like the stars of like Descendants were like 3 years younger than me, and I was like, I was like, what the fuck? Because like in the show they were like 17, 18, or in the series they were like 17, 18, 18. I was like, and like to like have that, and I was like, bro,
you know, I could see
age.
Being a Descendant. You could be like that Ursula's kid.
Ew. Oh.
I can kind of see it.
Ew.
What?
Ew.
If you were going to be a Disney descendant, Disney descendant would you be?
Jafars.
What? You're not even Arab, my guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but name a better character that makes good plans.
Scar?
Bullshit.
His plan worked.
And he's a
years.
lion. I'm not a lion.
Right. I'm just saying. You said name a character whose plan.
All right, I'd be like Maleficent. Like.
I mean, yeah. Her plan was just really pettiness.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I'm a petty person.
I'm probably more petty than you are.
Okay, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know Disney villains like that. I know it wouldn't be, like, Ursula, because, like, I would never... Actually, no. Yeah, it probably would be Ursula, because the devil's in the details. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
Like, you would be, like, her kid with the dude from Princess and the Frog. Because you both have friends on the other side, and you both torment poor unfortunate souls.
Hold on, if I can't be Jafar's because of the fact that like I'm not Arab, I cannot be the son of a New Orleans black man.
Is he black or is he just like?
No, he's
Cajun?
black. He's black.
Okay. Well,
like I think almost every single character in that show is black.
I don't know. I've never watched it.
You've never watched?
Nope. Never watched Princess and the Frog.
How have I watched a movie you haven't?
Because it's a Disney movie, and Disney died years ago.
That's fair.
Disney right now is just reanimating the corpses of their shows and making them worse.
Okay, The Princess and the Frog was a really good movie.
Okay.
It was a really
I'll
good
let you
movie.
have that. That was one of the last original-ish, quote-unquote, originals.
I mean, it wasn't really original.
Right, but it wasn't like a live-action remake of something we had when we were children.
Yeah, and the way they redid it, like the traditional story of The Princess and the Frog.
Bro, you have to Disney-fy... Every Disney princess movie had to be Disney-fied to hell and back, because you can't have...
Well, no, like, the way they originally did it was, like, the princess and the frog kiss, and then, like, and then they become, like, you know, the prince, like, turns back into a prince and from a frog. Well, the way that Disney did it is whenever the prince kissed the girl, she turned into a frog. Yeah.
I knew that part.
And then, like, they had to go through this whole, like, thing.
Process of getting unfrogified.
Yeah.
Had to get an amulet of defrogging.
And the prince, his servant, turned into the prince.
Okay, sure, whatever.
And
don't care.
And so he tried to find true love's kiss to keep the prince a frog.
You know, I don't have any problem with frogs. I like Froppy from My Hero. Have any other frog people?
Frogger.
Yeah, okay. I mean like frog people, like not like actual frogs.
Yeah, Toad.
Oh yeah, X-Men. Yeah. Oh, the best one is X-Men Evolution. The old like 90s/2000 show.
It's been so long since I've seen an X-Men movie, I couldn't tell you shit from it.
It was a TV show.
Yeah, it's been even longer since I've seen the TV show.
To be fair, Toad in the first live-action X-Men was pretty cool. It's played by Darth Maul from Star Wars.
Yeah, like almost all the X-Men movies are like 10 years old now.
They're way more than 10, dude.
Yeah, like no, I mean like the newest one is like 10 years old.
Oh, I was gonna say like the original ones are a lot older than 10.
Yeah, no, unless you count Deadpool and Wolverine, the X-Men movies are like 10 years old, like the newest one.
I mean, technically, I guess Deadpool and Wolverine is an X-Men movie.
I mean, like I think Logan's like 8 years.
Yeah,
it's coming up on that at least.
I didn't really care for Logan.
I never watched it. I never watched it.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of the MCU, so why would I bother watching it? And now it's part of the MCU. Because, like, why is it part of the MCU?
The MCU is also on fire. Because of the MCU.
It all started with...
Look, everyone gave Captain Marvel a hard time. Like, in the comics, she's one of the few people who can go toe-to-toe with Thanos.
Wait,
so,
Captain Marvel is the adult one, right?
Yeah, the white, white lady, blonde hair, has the red, white, and blue outfit.
Yeah.
But,
Miss Marvel's my favorite superhero.
Miss Marvel is a whole different character.
I love Miss Marvel. She's my favorite.
Captain Marvel is one of the few characters in comics that can go toe-to-toe with Thanos. So when they gave her own movie before they had Endgame, I was expecting her to mollywop Thanos in the face. She hits him like 4 times, and then she gets bitch slapped away from Thanos, and we not see her again.
Yeah, no, they had this major woman empowerment moment, and then they still lost.
Yeah, you have a woman. There are multiple women in the Marvel Comics cinematic, in the Marvel Comics universe that have clapped Thanos. We have Captain Marvel, we have Squirrel Girl, we have his daughter Nebula, we have his other daughter Gamora. All 4 of these women have 1v1 Thanos and won. There have been actually, as far as I can remember, more women to clap his cheeks than men. And yet you over here going, no, but Iron Man though. But you want to have women empowerment, but you don't want to let them be empowered. Give us a Squirrel Girl movie.
Iron Man is marketable. But like...
I mean, the reason why Marvel's doing so bad is because they got rid of all the marketable characters without remaking...
But Captain Marvel runs into the same issue that Superman runs in with.
She is kind of a plot device.
There is no struggle. Like, if Captain Marvel shows up and you don't nerf her to the ground,
right?
Then it's like, why are you watching? Because you just know she's gonna solve it.
Yeah, she's kind of like when Goku shows up in Dragon Ball. It's like, oh well, problem solved now.
Because even then, Goku struggles. Like he gets his ass beat by Frieza, but like
and Cell,
and
Boo.
Literally everybody.
Yeah.
And Vegeta.
Yeah, he's never actually beat Vegeta in a 1v1.
I mean, implied, but never actually fully.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, everyone says he won the first one, but he was paralyzed pretty much from the waist down, and Vegeta left under his own power. So, I mean, okay, sure. I'll call that a win because the Earth didn't get blown up. That's a technical.
I wouldn't even call that Goku's win, though. That'd be like Yajirobe's win.
Yeah, Yajirobe, Krillin, Gohan, and Goku, and the only one to literally be able to walk away was Krillin. Because everyone else was injured and knocked unconscious.
But I think the biggest issue with all of superhero movies is just you want to have strong characters, but if they don't struggle, then there's no progress.
Right.
Even if it's a mental struggle.
Right.
That's why if they overcome that mental struggle, going forward, there's going to be no struggle unless they revert the character.
Or there's some other kind of like you said Superman, but Superman has built-in fail-safe weaknesses. He has kryptonite. He's also very weak to magic, and half the people in DC use magic.
Yeah.
So hell, Zatanna can theoretically just clap Superman's cheeks.
But what is Captain Marvel's weakness?
I don't really know that much about Captain Marvel comic book wise.
I think it's literally just solar. If she's cut off from the sun. I think that's her only weakness.
I can't remember. Again, I'm not really that well versed in Captain Marvel's lore.
Neither am I. I don't know.
I would have to look into it.
Truthfully, I don't know much about comic books, so I'm
I'm more of a comic head than you are. But and even then, I'm more of a DC comic head than you are.
I'm a card game head, not a comic book head.
I could on DC side because I read a lot of the Teen Titans. I could tell you half the lore of half of DC because they show up in the Titans eventually. Again with Superman, he's weak to magic. He's weak to different forms of kryptonite. So pretty much half the Titans could take out Superman if they felt like it. Raven could one-shot him if she felt like it because she uses magic.
Yeah.
Freaking Robin has, depending on which Robin, either has a pair of kryptonite brass knuckles, kryptonite bullets, kryptonite stick, or a sword infused with kryptonite, depending on the Robin.
But I mean,
Boy Wonder could one shot.
Realistically speaking, though, Robin should never be able to get within close range of Superman.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking.
To be fair, what Robin would have on his side is that Superman wouldn't think of him as a threat, so he wouldn't notice that, why am I getting feel queasy all of a sudden? Is that a sword in my stomach?
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Did you just shoot me? What did I do?
But if it ever comes to the point where Robin would be fighting Superman, I'm pretty sure Superman would be on the edge.
If it was in Justice Timeline, Superman, where he's just clapping To be fair, in Justice Timeline, Superman gets his butt handed to him by a squirrel with a Green Lantern ring, so, you know.
I think that the entire fucking superhero shit is just overplayed, like...
Right, I mean, I also, you know what also I don't like about the superhero genre? They want to, like, change everyone's race or religion or their sexual orientation. But there are a plethora of characters in comics already. They already have what they want to put in the movie that they just don't use.
Okay, to be clear, he's black.
Yes, I'm a black man. So, I don't, like, look, when everyone got all upset that Superboy, Clark Kent's son, John Kent? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, John, because Connor's the clone son. He didn't claim at first. Yeah, John Kent, his biological son that he actually loves, turned out to be gay. Everyone had a big uproar about it, and I'm like, I don't care. He's his own I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. There's no point to being upset. And like when Tim, the third Robin, came out as bisexual, everyone was like, oh my god, the comics are trying to be woke. Like, bro, he was bisexual in the 90s. They just didn't come out and say it.
I think my biggest issue with like that kind of stuff is like, if it's not part of the plot, why are you bringing it up?
Right, like that's what I mean. Okay,
like,
you don't know the Teen Titans, but in I think it was New 52 Teen Titans, Tim Drake had a person on his Teen Titans team whose name was Bunker. Bunker was a Hispanic person. He is technically an illegal immigrant into America. He sneaks into America to find the Titans to get help because his boyfriend was kidnapped by the Mexican mob. And that's the whole reason why he's on the Titans, is to get help to save his boyfriend, right? The only thing I don't like about Bunker's backstory is that, spoiler alert, they do save the boyfriend eventually. But after they save him, he disappears. They never mention the boyfriend again. He's not brought up. Like, what?
It doesn't feel like it was like ever actually important that the character existed. It just felt like it had to be a dog whistle for that community.
Well, I mean, he brings up that, you know, every once in a while he comes out as, like, you know, his pride colors and everything, and stuff. It's like, then that's fine. It's not. It doesn't distract from the show. It just really.
But I mean, like, if you compare it to like characters like Static Shock, where it's like their identity as a black man or boy or whatever.
He's a teen when he first gets his power. So
yeah. I don't know what to say in that. Like,
but
like,
black person, individual.
Person of color, whatever. It's if you were to put
ingrained into their character.
If you put a white character in that position,
it's not going to work.
It doesn't work.
No,
and that's like that's what I mean by, like, if it doesn't work with the plot, why are you doing it? Because like if you like the guy you just used, right, Bunker, as an example, Bunker, like, did it matter that it was a boyfriend, or is it just there to say like, hey, they were in a relationship with the guy, like he's gay?
I mean,
there's a gay superhero.
He never really faces any adversity to being homosexual.
Yeah.
So like, it being a part of who he is like a thing.
Like if it had been like the mob targeted Bunker's boyfriend because specifically he was gay, there's like a detail that could, like, you know, be. But if it's just like we targeted down the, you know, his significant other, and it's like
the only time it really is brought up is like when he first joins the team, or like. And then, like, a few times here and there when, like, people show up and, like, because Bunker is a flirt. It's what he especially when he gets drunk. They drink a lot in the comics. And then someone saw him hanging out with Beast Boy and asked Beast Boy if he was gay. And he's like, no. But if I was, is there a problem, motherfucker? Do I have to claw you right now? Do I have to... Is there, like, you have an issue with my friend being homosexual? Like, is there a problem?
Yeah, but that just feels like it's being forced into there. Like, that doesn't feel like, because like if
it only comes up every once in a while. It's not like, you know.
If you're in a natural conversation with somebody, the fact that you're like their sexuality comes up, unless they specifically bring it up, it will never come up.
Right, it's not a thing.
Like I just found out that one of my friends who I've known for like 2 years, I just found out he's straight. I thought he was gay the entire time.
It doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't really face any adversity for being Hispanic either. Like, and the whole fact that he's here illegally, Tim Drake makes a call to Bruce Wayne and gets that fixed in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like, no, he's a citizen now. Since when? Since he has a job at the Teen Titans and he's now a national superhero. Here's his card, his identification, and also his citizenship papers. Please sign here. And that was it. It was over with. It was never a conflict.
I just don't like it when it's like it has to be included for like the sake of just being included.
I mean,
like,
I get
if you work it into the plot like properly, not like just like we are going to insert a single panel where it's like, are you gay? Well, yeah. Okay, cool. It's like that doesn't do anything to advance. That could have been like, you know, in that section it could have been like, hey, what are your powers? And then an explanation for, you know, the readers. Like,
the funny thing about his powers is that he's an illegal immigrant and his power is bricks. He can literally build a wall.
That's tone deaf.
Yeah. He can literally, his power is he can literally build a wall.
That's tone deaf as well.
Donald Trump's most favorite and least favorite superhero.
They were like let's introduce a DEI superhero and then also make him build a wall.
Right.
that's tone deaf.
Trump said he was gonna get the Mexicans to pay for it. I was like, we didn't have Mexicans. It's Mexican. It's one of them. This one.
No, but it's like if a new Pokemon character came out today, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, this character's gay.
Okay.
And it's like,
does that come up at all and in the gameplay? Does like,
and it's like in gameplay that character just stands there and like literally you talk to him and it's just like, here's TM47, mm-hmm. Have fun.
Right. To be fair, in the little Pokemon games, that's what all the NPCs pretty much do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like story wise,
except for that one dude on the bridge in Sun and Moon.
If it never comes up and they just like in like a little panel go like, hey, by the way, this character's gay.
Or, like, you know, I mean...
Why?
I mean, it's an okay thing to add, like, one flavor. Like, again, like, Bonker's thing is, like, the reason why he was, he's a hero in the first place and a Titan is so he can save his boyfriend from the mob. Like, it's his backstory? Yes. Does it get brought up much? No. After they resolve the issue, is it brought up ever again? I don't remember it ever being brought up again.
But I mean, if you replace his boyfriend with a family member,
yeah, like his mom,
it
grandma,
stays the exact fucking same.
Or if you make him straight and make it a girlfriend, nothing changes.
Yeah, literally,
not a thing.
If you make it like, oh well, we had to overcome diversity, adversity.
Yeah.
Adversity. We had to overcome adversity.
We had to overcome diversity.
We had to overcome diversity and become singular. But it's like if we had to overcome adversity, mm-hmm. and the mob hated that, and so they like kidnapped if you actually make it a part of the story,
or like Speedy, Green Arrow's sidekick, who was a heroin addict before Green Arrow found him. He relapsed, and Green Arrow like abandons him in a fucking meth lab. Which, can we just say, is the reason why Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, is my least favorite hero, because fuck that dude. Who does that to somebody?
Yeah, but that's overcoming, yeah. That's overcoming like something.
Human.
Yeah.
He had an addiction, he got clean, and then he busted into like a meth lab, beat up all the meth, like the dealers and shit, but then he was literally surrounded by his one and like his strongest vice ever after years, and he's a human being. He's not like an alien, he's not a super power.
Literally just a normal person.
Dude with an arrow and some skills. So he relapsed. Not great, but it's human. And what does Oliver Queen, the hero known as Green Arrow, do? Yells at him, says, "I hope you die here," and then leaves him in the meth hut. Like,
yeah.
What?
but like that is like an actual like him having that addiction mm-hmm. plays into the story. It plays into his character. It plays into his development.
Like, okay, I don't like racism, but if they made more of a deal of him being an illegal alien or an immigrant or being just Hispanic in general, like if some villains were like, oh, I don't want to deal with you, you're some, and then insert slur here.
Well, I don't mind the whole illegal immigrant thing,
mm-hmm.
or like him
mm-hmm.
being Hispanic, because like superheroes are going to be diverse.
No, I mean,
like they're going to be from all like it's not just going to be like American.
Besides making him the DEI homosexual Hispanic man,
yeah,
like if you're not going to play up the fact that he's homosexual in any meaningful way, make him a more character and have him be, ostracized for something, anything. Have him overcome something besides just being, hey, we got my boyfriend back, party time.
Because like him mm-hmm. being Hispanic and like coming across illegally mm-hmm. makes sense for the story.
Right.
They're there to get their significant other, their loved one, mm-hmm. back from the mob. Right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it's forced to be a boyfriend, it's like, again, we went over, like you could replace the boyfriend with literally anybody else he cares about.
It could be his dog, like John Wick. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it would have stayed the exact fucking same outside of like, here's a panel where it's like, hey, don't fuck with him because he's gay. And it's like, here's a cover art where he's waving the pride flag.
Actually, no, he has a whole entire pride outfit he wears every once in a while, which is lovely. But it's not. It's
forced.
Right.
It's like you're forcing it. It's like, if you're gonna do it, don't bring so much attention to it.
Right.
Like, don't like go like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, and we need to get my boyfriend back from the mob, and you know, like, be like, yeah, my significant other was abducted by the mob. When you get there, you can say, well, I was worried that my boyfriend that I would be like. You can't just go like, oh, well, we're gonna include the fact he's my boyfriend right out the gate.
Right.
Like, because then it's like, okay, well, the Titans are gonna go like, that's whatever, right? Like, they're just gonna go like, okay, we'll go save him, right?
Yeah.
But like,
well, they had some other things to do before they saved him. It was a while before they saved him.
If you do it after though, and you like, you know, they find out that like it's their boyfriend afterwards. He can have this moment of, I was worried that you guys would treat me like everybody else has treated me for, you know, like being gay, and then they go like, well, we accept you for who you are, so shut the fuck up and take your boyfriend.
The Titans used to be the Titans comics used to be a lot better at that, but they also used to be in an era where they could get away with more things than they can now. Because like one time, like during like one of the, not the original run of the Titans, but like the one right after it, when Cyborg and Beast Boy and Raven were on the team, Cyborg is upset about, you know, being like, how hard it is to be a black man in America, and Beast Boy goes, I went through something similar. He's like, what do you mean? Besides, like, well, first off, I'm green, but also secondly, I'm white, and I was born in Africa. I am literally African by birth, and I am paler than sour cream, or I was before I turned green. And he's like, being white in Africa is not as easy as people think it is, and he's like, he agrees it's not as bad as being black in America, but it's also not that easy being white African in America. He's like, it's not, and plus being green anywhere kind of sucks. So I'm green, furry, pointy ears and fangs. I look like a goblin from D&D.
Yeah, but those characters also explored like their struggles. It wasn't like just simply like, here's panel, you know, like.
But, of course, to be fair, when those characters were introduced, comics were allowed to be more about that. Like, they were able to focus on that more. When Bunkers were introduced, it's like in the mid-2000s, like the teens of 2000, so like everything DC era had already kind of started. Yeah. So you can't be like, oh, some criminal can't say, oh, it's the Titans F word, you know what I mean? Like, you can't.
You can. Fuck it, it's a villain. Right. It's a villain!
Yeah, but people would fucking write in and call and complain and be bitchy about it.
If Marvel can print literal Nazis,
yeah, let's go.
Then DC can have them say the F slur. Like, you can even go like F and then like censor. Yeah. Right? Like, you can do that, right? You can make it abundantly clear what it's meant to be. And still do it, and make it like actually fucking impactful. Right. Make the bad guy look like a fucking bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done it that way, but I can see why they didn't.
I can't see why they didn't.
Because DC was trying to be PC, and it kind of ruined the story and the character. But if like in a movie, or like a TV show, if they had the cojones, kind of like in the Harley Quinn show, where they're not really
shying away from shit.
Yeah. If Bunker showed up there, they would be like, "Oh, look, it's the Titans," you know, and it's like, you know.
I think that's like, knowing how they've written Harley and like every other character in that show. I don't think any villain would say that. Like, just knowing how they written the characters in the series.
A show like that where they have the balls to actually touch on things that would happen in real life.
They could have like a cop, like, you know, say some shit like that.
Oh yeah, some dirty cop or some crook on the street or something like that, you know.
And then I would slowly see like Harley like killing the cop and going like, I may be a bad guy, but at least I'm not a fucking bigot.
Right. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy are both bisexual. I still think that look, I love Harley and Ivy, but I don't think they're a good couple together. Because Ivy, in the comics at least, is almost as bad of a manipulating bastard as the Joker is.
See, in the show, they're written much better.
Right.
In the show, they're really well.
Again, I've read the source material. Like, Ivy has done some bad things to people she's been in relationships with. I mean, if you want to see, like, the worst of her, go back to see what she did with Clayface.
I mean, like, every single character in the DC universe has done some bad shit to one another.
No. What I'm saying...
I mean, like, take a look at fucking Batman. Like, he raised children for the slaughterhouse.
Kinda, yeah, but I mean, he was also raised in the slaughterhouse that is Gotham, so, I mean, like, they're all fucked either way.
Nah, but, like, he didn't have to continue that.
Right? I mean, like, to be fair, when he first found Dick Grayson, like, the reason why he took Dick is because he just like him, he's watched his parents die in front of him because some, random act of violence. So he felt bad for him, and then, like, he was like, hey, I take my anger out on where it needs to be. Maybe you? And they're like, yes. And he's like, cool. Then they went to go punch bad guys in the face, and they just kind of went with that forever. It's a bad coping mechanism, but it's their coping mechanism.
Here's what I think. I think that Marvel and DC need to die, and we need a new look.
I mean, there used to be a lot more companies that, like,
well, yeah, but they all, like, fucking died or, like, got enveloped.
Got eaten, yeah. Like, Spawn and Dark Horse comics.
Yeah.
Got eaten by Marvel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, like, there needs to be a lot more comics. And then, like, I mean, even, like, honestly, like, fuck the whole Marvel and DC. Like, we need to, like, have Hollywood actually start picking up, like, anime and shit like that.
They did. It's called Dragon Ball Evolution.
No, I mean, like, and do it good. Because, like, Dragon Ball Evolution was,
garbage.
Like, yeah.
Garbage. No, not hot garbage. I mean, hot garbage would be an improvement.
If we look at, like, what Paramount has done, like, recently with, like
Netflix shows and things.
Yeah, if you look at, like, modern day, like, expectations for, like, Japanese culture, like, so much better.
Yeah, if they made a Dragon Ball Z movie now, like, with, like, Marvel budget,
it probably wouldn't be good, but it would be
better than what we got.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, you know how we had the live action, since we were talking about Avatar earlier, we had the live action M. Night Shyamalan Last Airbender movie, which was trash, and then we had Netflix's, I think it was Netflix.
It was Netflix.
The Avatar live action TV series, which it wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, like when I watched it, I was expecting, because I'd heard like a lot of bad things about it, and I was like, they're like, oh, they fucked up Azula, and like, dude, you can see the descent into madness through that fucking series with Azula. Like, you can see every episode she shows up, she's getting worse.
Like, look, I understand that they had to shrink a whole bunch of stuff down to get into their episode quota.
Yeah.
I understand that they had to skip some things or just condense some other things, but what they kept and what they had, it felt like not as natural as the show, because the show again was like 23 episodes and this was like 8.
And the show was also animated, so like they didn't have like children actors.
Yeah, they didn't have children actors and didn't have to have practical effects, but what they did was really good. Like I appreciated Zuko and Iroh. I appreciated Aang and the gang. I appreciate they got their names correct.
If you showed me one scene of a character, like, like a named character, not like, some random background character, and you were like, who is this character? I could have told you each and every single character, either based off their costume or based off the way they act.
Right.
Like every character was that character.
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, I will say this one thing, though. In defense of the M. Night Shyamalan movie, it did one thing that I actually thought was kind of cool. In the original series, Firebenders and Airbenders... actually, Firebenders are the only ones who could just bend their element through their body. Airbenders, if they're, put them in a vacuum and they don't have air, they can't bend anything. Waterbenders, if they're in the desert, they don't have water, they can't bend. Earthbenders, before Toph bent metal, if it was metal and wood, they couldn't bend it. But so in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Firebenders needed actual fire to bend the fire. They couldn't just make fire on their own. I do kind of appreciate that. I do...
See, I don't, considering, like, the whole, like, firebending comes from within. Like, the literal background is, like, they learned how to firebend from dragons and make it come out of them.
Right, I do get that, but, like, the idea of, like, they're bending their element instead of creating their element.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things like, if you were going to make a change, it is a change I can see making.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Also, in the show, in the movie,
But it also kills Iroh's entire shtick.
No.
Because like Iroh's the Dragon of the West, because he.
That's what the thing that the movie did. It was actually good. See, like the foot soldiers, like the low level scrubs.
Yeah.
They all had to have torches or something. But if you were high enough level, like Zuko, Iroh, Ozai, Azula, even Cyburn Zhao. They have kind of like how Toph unlocked metal bending. They unlocked fire from within bending, because like Iroh could bend without needing fire around him. He could just make that shit. And I do appreciate that shows that the differential between a low level scrub,
kind of like lightning bending and okay,
right,
I see that. I see where you're coming from. I still disagree with it, but I can understand it.
Right. Like I say, if you're going to make a change, if a change is going to be made, at least be a change that someone can be okay with, and can understand. And be like, you know what? That adds a new dynamic. We could actually see Zuko's growth. Like at the beginning of the series, he might need fire to bend, and then like halfway through, he just starts bing, 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 boom.
Yeah.
No fire needed. Just I'm Himothy now.
I can see that.
It could show growth without actually having to have like a dialogue of, because Zuko broods a lot.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. He broods all the fucking time. So we could cut down on some of his brooding and actually show his emotional and personal growth through his bending during an action scene. Like, before, if they turned off all the lamps, he couldn't bend. He had to punch him. But now, no fire anywhere. He's still boom, boom, fire, ha. And I'm like, oh shoot, he's leveled up. He's gotten better. He's more in tune with himself and his element. He's better now. He's more of a threat. Haha, and then here comes Azula, who's not only bending fire, but hers is a different freaking color. Like, okay, now it's blue. And lightning? Oh, cool. There's another levels? Great. It would show the gap between Zuko's mindset at the beginning of the show, Azula's mindset when we first see her, and their mindsets at the end. If when he's bending fire, no problem, and she's struggling with her lightning at the end in their fight, you can see that their minds are more in tune with who they are or not in tune with who they are.
I can see that,
All without saying a single syllable. No words necessary.
I can see that. But then again, if we were to rewrite like a bunch of series, like we'd obviously have the hindsight of like, you fucked this up, you fucked this up, you fucked this up, or you did this right, let's fix. Like, I mean, like, sometimes you don't know what sticks until after.
Right, which... That's why I say, if you're going to adapt something and you're going to change something, make the change be something meaningful. And I think that's the only meaningful change that Shyamalan's movie made, was that they gave us a visual representation of power scaling, quote unquote, in leveling up, let's say, in Avatar.
While we're on the talk of Avatar, that new Avatar series...
Oh, the new one that's coming out?
Yeah.
When does it come out?
I think it's next year. It's early next year.
Yeah, with the poor kid has one leg, and the world is in chaos.
Yeah.
Because Korra done fucked up. Because Korra is the worst Avatar ever, and she done fucked up.
Yeah, and the kid's sibling is being trained as if they were the Avatar.
Right.
And I think of the parallel with Kyoshi, because Kyoshi's childhood friend was believed to be the Avatar for the longest time until Kyoshi decided fuck it, I'm pissed, and went off the rails.
I also count the parallel between Roku and Sozin, where they were both childhood friends and they grew up together, and then they split, and their split caused a war, because they were two sides of the same coin of duty and honor. One of them believed that it was his duty and honor to spread the greatness of the Fire Nation across the world to bring peace. The other one believed it was his duty and honor to keep balance between all four nations to bring peace. They had a similar destination, but both of them got corrupted slightly in different directions. Now, I'm not saying Roku got corrupted, I'm just saying, his mindset was changed, forcibly, pretty much, by becoming the Avatar. While Sozin, his mindset did not change. It slowly slipped into madness as he got older, but that can happen with pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Because if we just go by on the show and what we heard from Sozin and Roku, his dream of the Fire Nation was to take over the rest of the world just so they can spread the peace that the Fire and the prosperity and the technologies the Fire Nation had, which, to be fair, if we look at the Fire Nation versus the rest of the nations, everyone else was kind of shitty.
I mean, I don't think so. I think what we see in the in Atla is based off of being suppressed.
I mean, but
like
even when we go back and flashback with Roku and Aang, but like before the war, we see that the Earth Kingdom doesn't have like they don't have big. They don't have like ships and airships and ways to travel.
Well, yeah, they're landlocked.
Giant, yeah, but they don't have a way to travel across their giant fucking continent besides those bird things, those ostrich horses.
I mean, yeah, but neither does the Fire Nation until the war, like Aang time.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They're like, yeah, we're an island nation, but we're trying to spread across the planet.
No, the air balloon was being made by an Earth Nation member.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like the big warships, which would have been really helpful for the Water Tribe, for instance. Instead of having to have benders on every single mission, you can have non-benders on this ship that doesn't need a bender to propel it. That means you don't have to have a team full of people tiring themselves out 24 hours a day to move the ship through water, because it would be self-propelled. Because, it just burns coal, I think, or steam. I can't remember.
Coal. Yeah,
I think the older ones were coal, and they moved up to steam powered later. Anyway, what I'm saying is, like, you can have your warrior waterbenders be fresh and ready to fight in case of an attack, instead of them being, hold on, I just moved this, big-ass fucking ship, halfway across the planet and kind of tired and winded here. Give me a second to cool off. Meanwhile, here comes some earthbenders or pirates or whatever. And also, them air nomads. They're just a cult.
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
They're weird.
I mean, we saw multiple characters in the air nomads show like personality. I mean, like all the kids showed a personality. Aang's direct master showed a personality. Yeah. Aang himself has a personality. I mean,
what happened to his son then? His son's personality just left in the womb?
Trauma. Aang ignored him for so long, and he fought so hard to get Aang's love and attention and approval.
All I'm saying is that he was born with a stick firmly implanted in his backside.
It's the expectations, man. The expectations will kill you.
Bro, just be your dad. Just have fun. Say fuck it.
Yeah, but his dad stopped being fun.
I mean, that's
like, we saw in the Korra flashbacks whenever we saw Aang, he was just a giant stick in the mud.
He married Katara, the mommy of the group, who buried him, and he's like...
Okay, I guess there was one time we didn't see him being a stick in the mud, and that was whenever he was doing the, the air trick where it's the marble thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but he stopped having fun because he was, raised by his childhood girlfriend / mom.
Oh, have you seen the new Avatar game that's about to come out?
No, I haven't.
Like 2026?
No, I haven't.
It's like it's like immediately after Avatar 1's time, and it's like a massive open world. Like think Breath of the Wild, but Atla. Oh, you get to make your own avatar.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like
you're not gonna be Korra.
Yeah.
Who fucked up everything she could possibly fuck up.
Well, it's like way before Korra.
Right.
There's like dozens of avatars before.
Yeah, and not a single one of those avatars had fucked up as hard as Korra did. She fucked up so bad, she's the only avatar the new avatar can talk to.
I mean, is that such a bad thing?
Yes. That's like getting art advice from Adolf.
I mean...
when Bob Ross was an option.
Have you seen his work of arts, though?
He had like 3 paintings.
Yeah, and they were
bad.
They were average.
I don't know how he got kicked out of art school. Honestly, like...
He got denied from art school.
Yeah, honestly, his art was good enough for an art school, in my opinion. My personal opinion. If I was the dude at the school, I would have let him in, personally.
Yeah, but the standards of the average person is going to be much lower than the standards of like an art specialized college.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
I mean, like if I were to if
maybe if we saw like comparisons to like who got in at the time.
Yeah, if somebody
the time period.
If an average player were to like try to like audition to be like signed up on my team like as a pro TCG player, right? Like. Odds are they would get declined and everybody would be like, why? They're so good. And it's like, they're just not up to standards. Like, they're average. Like being a 6 is good, but like...
when you're in a room full of 8s, it's not that great.
Yeah, like, if you're sitting down and the person judging you is a 9 or a 10 and you're a 6,
yeah,
you probably don't belong here.
Right.
Like it's like one of those things where it's like the difference isn't noticeable until you're either the person experiencing it or the person like having to evaluate it.
Right. You don't realize how bad the transformation from stage 2 Frieza to stage 3 Frieza is until you punch him, and now your punches are no longer punching.
Yeah, because to you, if you're like a 3 and you're like and you meet a 6, you're thinking like this is the pinnacle.
Right.
But
until
like
you meet a 10.
And then even if you meet a 10, you're like this feels the exact same. But like if you're a 6 and you play against a 3, you're like, okay, this is super easy. But if you play against a 9 or a 10, it's like,
oh god,
I don't belong here.
Right.
Like
I have messed up now.
I've had moments like that where I'm like, okay, I'm like literally just outclassed right now, and it's like I've had people go like, why are you saying that? You're so good, and I'm like, you don't understand.
It's like when Ozai realized that Zuko was no longer the boy who let him burn half his face off.
Yeah.
And then he shot him backwards like 8 feet with lightning, and he redirected that he threw at him.
Yeah.
And then just walked away saying, I'm going to let a 12-year-old handle my light work. And it's like, hold. And he just sitting there on his throne like, did this motherfucker just bitch slap me with my own lightning bolt and then walk away?
Yeah, you don't realize the skill difference until like you've experienced the skill difference.
Because in Ozai's mind, he's still that scared little like fucking 13-year-old boy who let him burn half his face off. He's like, yeah, no. That is not the same child, my friend. This man has grown up on the streets of your uncle, and
I had a funny experience with like literally this. What we're talking about, right? The whole skill difference thing.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine thought he was like an 8, and he was like, I can take you. You were there for that. Yeah, because he was like, I'm so good. My deck is so like strongly built, and I was like,
I remember because I had just bought dinosaurs, and they were still.
No, it wasn't precons. It was whenever I went through our bulk, and I like built a deck out of our bulk.
No. I'm saying for me. Because I had just bought my dinosaur deck. I literally just got like the last of it in the mail like a day or two ago, and we were playtesting. Can we just agree that when I first got that shit was rough?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say rough. I would say if somebody handed me that deck, I'd throw it in the trash and buy them a precon.
However, before that got stolen from my house, which is another thing that we missed from the podcast, I got robbed. My all my Magic cards, my D&D stuff, my PS5, and also my Cards Against Humanity for some unknown reason. Anyway. But yeah, we got that dinosaur deck down to where there was no fat, no filler in them episodes. It was smooth.
It wasn't a deck I would have built that it was a good deck.
Right. It was like it's not your playstyle, but you can understand like see it.
No, it's not even that it wasn't my playstyle. There was just cards I would have cut for more optimal cards.
Right.
I mean, but like
again, it wasn't like
it wasn't like the highest tier, but it was
from where it started to where it ended.
It went from like a 2 to like a 6. Like
which is a vast improvement.
Yeah. But it was like the guy that I was talking about, right? He was like, "Oh yeah, my deck is full of mythic rare cards. I can easily win." And like I think I beat him like 6 times without taking any damage. No, it wasn't a precon. It was just commons and uncommons that were in our bulk pile. And I started flexing on him by casting Sigiled Starfish.
Which neither of us even have that bulk pile anymore. A lot has happened. A lot of bad has happened.
Yeah.
But good news! The boys are back together. Mental health is getting mentally healthier, kinda slowly.
Yeah.
No more trying to alt F4 reality.
Let's not get too hasty. No.
Yeah, no, but we're trying to do better. We're doing good. I'm still working on my book, which I don't even remember if I talked about my book on any other podcast we did.
And I'm uploading like 5 videos a day because I'm insane.
Yeah, you need to stop that.
It's fun.
As long as you're having fun, my guy. You know what?
It's fun. It's a good distraction.
I'm not gonna argue with you as long as you're having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm actually writing 5 books. I don't know because your brain says, "Oh, make a video." My brain says, "Write a chapter in this one book, then switch over to this one," and my brain just hates me, and I hate it. I hate it so much. But but I'm like, I'm further in my one book than I thought I ever would be, and so I'm happy. I'm working on it. It's great.
And my personal channel my personal channels have like blown the fuck up. Like one of my channels like got like 200 subs in like the last 4 months. Mm-hmm. And then like another one of my channels like got like 150 in the last 3 months. Mm-hmm. And it's like Yeah.
Dude, the last time we did a podcast, Trump was president for the first time.
No, the last time we did a podcast, Joe Biden won.
Was it?
Yeah, our last podcast was Joe Biden won the presidency.
Ah, right. So we just lost Donald Trump and then got Biden, and now we got Trump again.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Trump to Trump.
Yep.
I mean, it could have been worse. That bullet could have gone a little bit to the left or right, and then we would have had another different president.
Yay, JD Vance.
Would it have been Vance?
No, it wouldn't have been Vance.
Because wouldn't they have had to get like a whole other candidate?
Nah, it probably would have been Robert Kennedy.
I don't know, because like, look, I'm glad Trump didn't get his head popped on national TV, because that would have sucked. However, I didn't vote for him. All I'm just gonna say. And I appreciate where Trump wants to get America. It's just the road he's taking to get to the destination is not the road I would have taken.
Nobody would have taken.
It's like saying, "Oh, I want to get to Disneyland." Cool. Why are we going through Compton to get there, though? I don't understand why we couldn't just take the good streets. Why are we?
No, but the thing is, like, his road doesn't end at where we all like expect it to end. It's going to end with like almost everything in the U.S. costing more, with like every country just not wanting to trade with us because they can't trust us anymore, and like it's just gonna end poorly.
Look, I had a plan for if I ever ran for president. One of the things is what Trump wants, kind of technically, is more independence for America. However,
why are we taxing bananas that cannot be grown in America?
That's one of the things that's stupid. See, one of the things that I kind of agree with is that we should use the oil that we have in America more. But also, if I was president, I would also be subsidizing that with like the green energy that we also have that's more renewable in America.
There's an island inhabited by nothing but penguins, and it has like a 70% tariff tax on it.
And that's stupid. Look, what are the penguins sending us? Feathers? Pebbles? What are we doing? How are we taxing penguins? What are the penguins taking from us? What are we giving to the penguins? Are we giving them Glocks? What happened?
He wants iPhones to be made in America, but iPhones made in America would cost like $3,800.
Right. See, that's the problem. He wants all these things to be made in America, but is not providing America with the means of production to make them in America.
And that's at like the current like minimum wage. Like actual minimum wage would be like...
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Also, another thing I would do if I was president, which would help with like the tax situation and like the debt situation a lot. America has a lot of military, like we have like a huge military spending budget. Like it's the largest in the world, period.
Yeah.
But most of our military is in other countries.
Yeah.
So I would just have like a service fee. So if you have like a military base, you pay a certain fee for the use of our military to keep your country safe. You're paying for every boot on the ground, every bullet in a mag, everything that we send that's American to you. You pay a service fee on, like a monthly subscription fee. Well, not monthly, more likely a yearly, but like a fee of some sort, so that the other countries that we are protecting with our military budget are paying for the military budget.
Speaking of military overseas, how do you feel about the fact that Germany is rearming?
I think with what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, it's
Yeah,
probably in their best interest to do so.
That's also what happened at the start of World War II.
Right, but in the start of World War II, Germany was more of an aggressor. They weren't arming up as a retaliatory thing. They were arming up to gear up to war.
Well, yeah, but the only reason they're not doing that now is because the Nazi Party just recently lost their election.
What I'm saying though is that Russia is a big country and it's right there, and it's proving right now by attacking the Ukraine that they are willing and ready to go to war with anyone at any time. And Germany is right there. Germany's like, hey, oh, yo, what up? Hold up, brother.
Okay, for a brief, for the episode, for like just a starter, let's go ahead and just wrap things up here, though.
Oh, okay.
Because,
sure.
I mean, like, we're at like an hour and 10 minutes, and like, you know, just just as we re-enter, just to get people an idea of like what we're
Right.
going to be doing going forward.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean rambling on and on like weirdos?
Yeah, essentially.
Switching.
Just give them an idea of what to expect.
Oh, a teaser.
Yeah.
Like a strip tease.
Yeah.
Except no one wants to see us naked.
Because the next one's probably going to be a lot longer.
Oh dear God.
Oh God.
What's going to be the next one? Like, what is it in the title of this one?
It's just a revival. I showed you.
Revival.
I showed you the thumbnail. What do you mean? What is the title?
I have slept since then, my friend.
There was like 4 thumbnails.
Right, and I have slept since then.
Well,
I've had to
anyways.
make sandwiches and wraps since then, buddy.
Anyways, check out the link tree in the description down below for our personal channels.
Oh, shout out to Kendrick for whooping Drake's cheeks in that rap battle.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year.
Yeah. Damn. How time flies.
Yeah, when you're in a courthouse Karen like Kendrick's opponent was.
But anyways, we have been the Tangent Podcast.
TTFN, ta-ta for now, and hopefully we'll be back soon rather than later.
Hopefully. Hopefully.